Hey y'all! Welcome back to the Gundam Guys. We are your hosts, Jeff.
And I'm Keenan.
And we missed y'all. I missed y'all. Let me tell you, Keenan, it has been a week.
Yeah.
With a capital W. Not having it, but I am so excited to be here with you to watch some Gundam and to talk about some Gundam.
Absolutely. Although, Jeff, you and I are both exhausted because last episode was such a train wreck.
Yeah, I'm still tired.
I'm still tired from it.
I rolled my eyes so hard over the course of that episode. I have had a headache ever since. It is just,
But I definitely appreciate anybody who listened to us rant and rave about that episode. In fact...
Yeah, thank you. And like I said, if you love that episode, go on and get it. We are just giving our opinions. Whatever you love, it is just as valid as what we rage about.
I forgot my phone. Jeff, cover me for a second.
Okay. Hi. So here's the thing, guys. It has been, as I said, a capital W week. Work, getting ready for my annual physical, and I hate the doctor's office, you know how it is. But the new Sierra album dropped, so that was lit. But other than that, it's just, everything's testing me. But Detective Pikachu comes out this week, so what? And welcome back, Keenan.
Yeah, I'm back.
I was sputtering out fast.
Sorry, I set my phone down because I completely forgot I'm a terrible host. Because I mentioned to you off mic that I've got a couple of surprises for us today. Yeah. One in particular, obviously, is going to be our snack, which we'll cover in a minute. Uh-huh. But I have a nice little thing for us that I did not expect.
Do tell.
We got our first review.
Wait, for real?
For real.
Wait, is it a good one? Because it's been a week, Keenan.
No, this is why'd I say no? Yes, it's a great review.
Jeez. Yes.
My natural response is no.
Wait, for real? We got a review?
Yeah. It's our first, and it's a 5-star review on iTunes.
Yo! Thank you.
So I will read it out.
Okay.
Much like, when we get to talking about like our, plugs and stuff like that, anytime we get stuff like this, I would love to read them out because it's an honor and a privilege to be able to be listened to by people out there, especially to somebody like our user here. I'm going to butcher your name. I'm sorry. Is Corbidorby Doodle.
Of course.
The wonderful user who wrote us a wonderful review on iTunes titled Great Show, Fun Guys.
Oh, we're fun guys.
He says, I've just gotten into Gunpla models, that's the plastic model kits, and had a hankering to learn more about the source material. I downloaded the first couple episodes of about 100 Gundam podcasts, most of which were poorly recorded and kind of boring. These guys are great, though. Professional sounding, well prepared for the topic, and clearly a love for the Gundam franchise. Thanks for a great listening material.
Oh, that was lovely. And all the credit for all those things you mentioned all goes to Keenan. So
Stop it. I didn't do all of that. You talk too.
Yes, exactly. That's the thing, Keenan. I talk. That is where my contribution ends.
No, you were taking...
This week I didn't even select the snack. I don't...
Well...
But that was beautiful.
The reason I selected the snack this week is because if you listen to our last episode, Jeff did a very wonderful thing for me and bought me a hardcover Justice League Power Rangers crossover book, which I started reading. It's got some great visuals, but some very creepy smiles in it. But I'm loving what I'm seeing so far. Mm-hmm. And it just made me want to return the favor with our snack today. But before we talk about the snack, I want to talk a little bit about what the episode we're going to be covering today is.
And yet again, I would like to thank our reviewer, and any reviews that you would like to share with us, we would like to share with all of you, unless they're bad ones, because I have a very low self-esteem and I can't handle that drama. So Keenan will read those to himself and won't tell me.
No, because if I see those reviews, I will cancel the podcast immediately. I'm done.
I'm an anxious man. No, but all jokes aside, thank you so much to everyone who listens and for giving us feedback, because we love doing this. It is our treat after a week of work where we get to hang out and just with each other and with all of you, and to, watch some Gundam and eat some snacks. That's great.
Yeah, it's like taking a trip back in time when we used to get out of school and watch the cartoons afterwards
yes!
with your buddies.
Keenan, in! We're the new Toonami block! Welcome, y'all! Friday nights!
All right, so today's Gundam episode is episode 8. It is The Winds of War. This episode... For a second, I thought you were going to do like the Western. Wah, wah, wah.
No, those were the winds of war. That didn't come from me. Didn't you hear that? Those are the winds.
Oh, it must be outside. I must be going crazy.
No, it just came right through that window.
Yeah, this episode aired on May 26, 1979 in Japan, and in the US of A, it aired on August 1st, 2001. Now then, as Jeff mentioned, today I am on snack duty.
Mm-hmm. I can't wait to hear how you do my bit. My bit that I make up on the spot every week, so I'm...
Ladies and gentlemen, and all other people who listen to this podcast, or in the world, I find it atrocious, a travesty, an absolute nightmare.
God damn it, you do better than I do.
I am a voice actor after all.
Oh! You are ruining this beautiful moment. Continue.
It is unacceptable to watch anything, let alone an anime, without having a snack to enjoy what you are seeing on your television screens or whatever device you have it on. And today...
What's the snack, Keenan? I honestly do not know.
Pardon the tinfoil noise you'll probably hear on this mic.
Yeah, we're an ASMR podcast for the next 20 seconds.
I have for us some cupcakes!
What? Yes!
Yeah, these were a lovely gift from a friend.
Thank you, friend.
It was her birthday, and
Aww.
she went out of her way to make these cupcakes, which is insane. It's her birthday.
For her own birthday?
She shouldn't be making anything.
Yeah,
but...
I don't prescribe to that.
So I meet up with a bunch of voice actors every now and then, and we, just talk to each other. Sometimes we'll go to classes together and do stuff like that. And it was her birthday. She brought these in for everybody, and she said, "Here, take some home." So here we are. We have, I believe it was white cake with chocolate frosting and sprinkles.
Yes. Oh, I love a white cake.
And we're going to enjoy them as we watch our episode. So we will take a little break, enjoy our meal, watch the episode, and we'll be right back.
See y'all soon. Hear y'all soon. Or you'll hear us soon.
Wonderful. Hey everybody, we just got back from watching Mobile Suit Gundam episode 8, and...
Hey Keenan, you know what's weird?
The fact that this episode is a complete 180.
Like, that last week was so bad and this week was so good.
Like, this is the second time this has happened where we took our eyes off on they had a bad episode, and then we start watching again and the episode's good.
I feel like it's those even episodes, because when I look back, like, a lot of my favorite episodes we've watched so far are the even episodes. The second episode's when Char broke onto Side 7.
Yeah.
The fourth episode was Escape from Luna 2, which was amazing, even though Luna 2 itself was trash.
Absolutely.
And episode 6 was the best episode we've seen so far.
Yeah.
So, and episode 8, also excellent. I had a great time.
Yeah. Oh, God. I hope this doesn't have a similar parallel to Star Trek, where that has a curse of every odd movie is terrible, but all the good movies are the even ones. So
really, I was unaware.
Yeah, I mean, I
like all the Star Wars movies.
Yeah, so do I. But I've just been I've known that because a lot of my friends are into Star Trek, and that's what they've told me.
Ah, very nice.
Yeah, and that's not the first time that I'll mention that Gundam and Star Trek have a lot of similarities. I'll talk about that when we get closer to the topic.
In this episode, or
no,
just
in later episodes.
Ah, I see.
But for now, why don't we go ahead and start covering what this episode is all about, huh?
Let's. It opens with a beautiful piece of dialogue where Lieutenant Piccolo says, "We're gonna hit that mountain," and then they hit that mountain, and
yeah,
we are off and running.
Yeah, this is a strange opening where they barely pull up to avoid this mountain that they just graze over. We don't know why they're flying so low to the ground this time, but they'll tell us in like a couple of minutes.
It's just the setup. First of all, I have trouble believing, because we watched the English dub. I have trouble believing that was the direct Japanese translation. I think everyone in the dub studio was like, you know, it would be fun. What would be fun if we just had this dude be like, we're gonna hit that mountain, and then they hit the mountain just to like really get him going.
Yeah, it'll keep everybody on the edge of their seat.
Yep, because then they're like, oh no, what else will he predict today
Right.
with his broken arm and his bad attitude?
Yeah, so because they hit this mountain, the whole ship shakes, and we see, we cut to Amuro and Frau. They're carrying like a trolley of cybernetics, and they fall over. And then the next thing they hear is a crying baby, you know.
The baby. Okay, I'm just going to put it out there and claim that this is my baby lady and her baby, because let me tell you, Keenan, I need closure in this life, and I feel like Gundam's not going to give me a lot of it because we're still in the universal century 40 years later.
Yeah.
So I'm going to take this where I can get it, and I'm going to take the win and say, and not go back to episode 2 to see if it's a different character design. I'm going to say mother found her baby, and we see the fate of them this episode.
We did it! Mystery solved!
We did it, and now they're hanging with Amuro and Frau, which wouldn't you?
Yeah. Amuro and Frau came in to see this mother and child. The child's name is Coley. It's this little blonde boy. Very adorable. Speaking of closure, mom doesn't get a name, because why would she?
You know, it's weird that she doesn't get a name because she plays a real big part in this episode.
Yeah, she is almost in every other scene in this episode, and she just we're just gonna refer to her as Coley's mom. How about that?
Yeah.
So they're having a little discussion about I guess like she tries to calm the baby down because the ship is rocking violently because they keep hitting rocks for some reason.
Because they're just skimming. They're skimming the mountaintops and just like it's like when you skip a stone along a pond, only instead of a pond, it's a rocky range.
You think Mirai's just trying to show off, like, hey, look what I can do with this giant ship?
Well, Mirai can do anything she wants, so
Right.
I don't see why not.
Just don't tell Lieutenant Reed that.
No, we're not. We're not there yet. But when we are, I'm gonna have words.
Yeah, so she calms the baby down by saying, like, hey, look outside, look how nice it is, and all that. Amuro and Frau look off, they're hanging in the entryway, and Amuro kind of gets a little, like, not homesick, but parent sick. Like, he asks Frau, like, do you think anybody or all mothers are as kind as this lady? And Frau's like, well, I guess I'm not sure. You haven't seen your mom in a while.
Yeah, by the way, my mom's dead. I watched her get exploded in the first episode, but that's fine. Let's talk about your mom.
Never mind how Frau's doing.
I thought that was a very weird conversation where she's like, do you think about your mom? And he's like, yeah. And I'm like, hey, how about your mom? Because you watched her die, like,
I know,
a day ago. So
like,
that's weird.
Amuro's not being a really good friend right now.
No, it's not even that Amuro's not being. It's just that they both. It's just a weird exchange. Like, it's not that I think Amuro did anything wrong. It's just it was weird for her to bring it up, and it was weird his response, and it was weird because. That maybe I'm wrong. Wasn't her mother one of the people that was exploded in episode 1?
Yeah.
Yeah, so it just seemed like a weird conversation to even happen.
Yeah, I mean...
Like, mothers, huh? Yeah.
I don't think...
Have you seen yours? No. Is yours still on fire? Is the corpse still on fire? Yes. Like, well, I don't understand.
In their predicament, I don't even know if any conversation from this point on can be considered normal based on their circumstances.
I guess so.
But it is a very weird conversation they have. But they forget about that. They go to pick up the stuff that fell over. Even Haro is with them. And by the way, I didn't mention this before because
I forget Haro exists every single episode.
Because they don't draw attention to Haro, really. Even though it'll eventually become the mascot of the production company that makes this. But... in other episodes, they've shown this where Haro is a green ball with eyes, like little beady eyes.
And arms that come out of his little, like, sockets.
Yeah, it sprouts arms and legs when it needs to.
Yeah.
So,
you know, Haro.
Our pal Haro.
You know how a Haro do.
Oh, Haro. And it starts helping them, pick up the stuff. And then it also can communicate with Captain Bright somehow.
Doesn't it just talk like a Pokemon? Doesn't it just go Haro, Haro?
A little bit. Like, sometimes it'll say haro haro, and then it'll actually say words. Like, Bright has a message for you. Please go to the bridge.
Oh, yeah, he did say that, didn't he?
And, as that happens, the ship, shakes again because Mirai is styling right now.
Oh, yeah, tell him what he said, Keenan. Tell him what he said to my queen, because then I'm about to go off. I'm just waiting. I'm waiting.
Yeah, we go back to the bridge. Reed is furious because they keep clipping these rocks, and he's he first gets mad at Bright. He says like this
as in every episode.
Yeah, he's not happy because they're flying so low and they're constantly hitting these rocks. And Bright points out because there's planes overhead, but Reed looks over like, no, I don't even think he even looks at her. And that's what's even more upsetting is he calls her inexperienced. You're an inexperienced pilot.
Keenan, I'm going to need you to pause because I'm going to have a moment with Lieutenant Reed. Sir, let us review your history as you take it upon yourself to talk about my girl. You tried to escort them to Earth, in which within about 10 minutes you were shot, both you and the ship at the same time. Mm-hmm. And now I don't even think he was supposed to be on the ship with them, or maybe he was. Fuck him. He's not worth my time knowing. Now you walk around your sling, sipping coffee while everyone else is doing work, coming up with the worst plans, and you have the gall to step to my queen, Mirai, and say she is inexperienced when all we know that you have the capability to do is whine and make a good dark roast? How dare you? How dare you? A curse upon your house. Ugh, this man, he is at the top of my enemies list. Fuck Tiny Head. This, you, Reed, Piccolo, you're on the list. You're number one. You step to my girl.
And you know what's really interesting about
you step to Mirai Nation.
You reminded me of something that happened in that episode where he tried to escort them to Earth and he screwed up. Guess whose idea it was to save him? Our girl Mirai.
Yeah, she should have let him fry in the atmosphere.
So you should be thanking her for saving your worthless piece of just waste.
Yeah, she should have let you fry like the limp fish you are, you dick. I hate him. Pardon my extreme language, but I get very protective of my, like, Sayla's Keenan's favorite character, and she's a very close runner-up for me, but my number one, Mirai, and how dare he?
Yeah, and in all fairness, Sayla hasn't been getting a lot of screen time as of late anyway, so you're just wait.
Well, to be honest, neither of them have been getting a ton of screen time. The thing is, when they do get screen time, they do so much more with their small amount than most of the boys do with their big amount.
Yeah. Speaking of boys, we gotta go talk to Garma and Char because...
Oh, my boyfriends.
Yeah, your boyfriends. the
Char's back in after this episode. Now I like both of them.
The dream team.
Yeah, this is not Garma's week.
No. So I said all these planes are flying over White Base. They've been tailing them this whole time. They're flying through these ravines and canyons.
Oh, I believe it was called the Great Canyon, to which I was like...
Not so subtle hint to the Grand Canyon.
Yeah, I was like, so are they is this America? Are we flying through the Grand Canyon? What is this? Or is there a Great Canyon? Tweet in, tell us.
I could certainly tell you we're not in the United States right now.
Oh, okay, so you know. So there is just the Great Canyon because, why not?
Sure. I mean, and they bring it up in this episode. So when Earth got attacked by the giant colony drop, it kind of had like a global effect.
Did they bring that up? Because I don't remember that. And I'm always listening for colony drop news.
It's one of those things where they just put it in a line and they forgot about it for 8 episodes.
So wait, this was they said this in episode 1?
I think so, yeah.
I swear to God, the more I try to investigate what the deal with the colony drop is, the more this show just drags me.
It's just like, we want to hear more about it. Tell us.
Even 40 years later, it's like, hey, some psychics predicted this, but we're not going to tell you about that. We're going to tell you about how when they die, they pilot a Gundam.
Yeah.
PSRNT, our narrative review came out today.
Yeah. So, today, as in the week before this episode comes out, landscapes changed dramatically after that event, which we'll see later on in this episode, where there's a town that apparently isn't there anymore.
Keenan, you posted that's the big reveal of the episode.
Well, I didn't say what it was.
Keenan.
Which, by the way, this episode, like, they bring it up, and again, they kind of just, like, let that go. They don't talk about it so much.
Well, no, she talks about it the whole time. She's going to that town whose name I did not write down.
Don't worry, I got you covered, buddy.
Excellent. Thank you, my friend.
Yeah, so Garma and Char, they're monitoring them with, I guess, like, just with everything they possibly can. Because before it was just that spy plane that just kept following them. Now, Garma's sending everything.
You know, he's just like, you know what? What if I sent the entire army?
Yeah, like, they start talking to each other, Garma and Char, that is, about what their next move is. Because White Base right now, as I said, they're navigating these canyons, aka the Great Canyon. And they suspect that the only reason they're doing that is because the terrain gives them essentially an advantage against radio weaponry because of that magical little Minovsky particle nonsense. Right? That's
how you know it's nonsense. I have no idea what's going on.
It's just pseudoscience. It just means radar jamming.
Of course. Minushki?
Stravinsky.
Meninsky? What? No, I'm actually trying to figure it out. Minovsky particles, aka radar.
Yes.
Gotcha.
And that's also why
they Gundam radar.
Yeah. Then that's also why they've been flying so low to the ground, is to stay out of, like, normal radar range for them. So that's why they got the planes following them.
Even though people are watching them with their eyes.
Well, no, that's why, is they have those people watching them, is so they can report back to Garma and Char in the first place. Just like, here's where they are.
Well, I guess, but how does that help White Base if people still know where they are?
It doesn't really help them, but based on the last few battles...
So they just really want to skim those cliff faces.
I mean, White Base has so far been pretty impenetrable for the most part, so that's why Zeon has had such a hard time with them. Plus, they got the Gundam. They don't want to jump on that and lose more forces. So they're trying to plan...
Yeah, not after Amuro's... Not last week, that was trash, but the week before when he just annihilated an army.
Exactly. So they don't want to jump the gun just yet. So that's their situation right now, is that they're just waiting to see, like, where can we attack next? They have an idea, because they're approaching a big lake that's coming up. And there's, according to Bright anyway, as they look on their floor map, which I have to imagine is just like, okay, this is weird but interesting, is their whole floor is this holographic projector that just displays whatever they want on it.
I mean, it's gorgeous. It goes beautifully with the balls.
Yeah. So they point out that that lake is a dead zone. If they go there, they're not going to be able to escape from a big attack. And it's a big problem. So they're going to have to rely on the Gundam again if they're planning on getting out of this. Much to Kai's annoyance. Because he shows a little bit of, I think it's jealousy.
Well, here's the thing. I just love that I've got my Kai back this week because he was just a nightmare last week, and this week, back to being shitty, and he has a really great moment later.
Yeah, and when we say shitty, it's like, oh, he's just,
he's entertaining. He's shitty.
Yeah, he's comic relief. He's full of sass. But last episode, he was just a huge jerk.
Yeah, like he was awful. Like he was not fun to watch.
Like uncharacteristically almost.
Yeah. But it's a new day and Kai is back to us.
Yeah, but he's not whining, but he's saying like, okay, well, we keep using Amuro, so we're not going to have anything to do. Mm-hmm. So that's why I kind of suspected, just like, okay,
well, yeah,
maybe
because
he's
isn't
jealous
this when they
of him.
said everything about this plan that they have relies on the Gundam?
Pretty much.
To which I went, uh-oh.
Yeah. Because that went so well last time.
I was like, oh no.
Last time Amuro had a big plan, he just he went in a jet, fell asleep, and then came back.
Oh, I was scared, y'all.
As was I. And here's the other reason why I was scared about this episode is when we saw the preview to Winds of War, they were putting more of the focus on that mother and child, obviously, Coley and his mom.
Yeah,
but
more than ended up being on. Like, they were a big part of the episode, but not to what the preview made it look like they were going to be.
Yeah, and based on how the civilians were in the last episode, where they formed a union that did absolutely nothing.
Oh my god, I'm so glad that they are gone.
Thankfully, this felt like...
When they showed up again at the beginning of the episode, I was like, why is this a continuing plot line of all the things to hang on to?
And I think we jumped into like a time paradox because it seems like nobody remembers what happened in that last episode. Because when all of the people come up again to the bridge and request to land...
Yeah!
Like, nobody was just like, really? You're asking this again?
Yeah, I was like... Why are you go downstairs, get out your pinochle, and just chill. Frau will bring you a snack.
Including Mr. Gray Mustache, who was the leader of the quote-unquote rebellion.
Of all the people to get a recurring role.
But, thankfully, he doesn't speak. Coley's mom does, and actually brings up a reasonable argument to actually land. Which is, before... when Mr. Mustache was asking, put us down or, we'll sit in solidarity.
Yeah, we will hold hostages with no weapons.
With no violence.
But we will sit in the same room with them and call them hostages. And you will give in to all of our demands.
Which their demands were, put us down in this barren landscape. There's no water. There's
where everyone
nothing.
Outside has guns pointed at us.
Yeah, terrible idea. Coley's mom, on the other hand... brings up that where they're going has a town.
What's the town called, Keenan?
The town is called...
I say through my yawn.
The town is called...
We're very sleepy boys today, so I apologize.
The town is called St. Angus. And it's near this big lake where they're going. And later on, we'll see, like, when they fly over it, there's actually houses and grass and, trees and stuff like that. So it's relatively untouched by the war. So that's fantastic. That's wonderful. And a way better idea than just landing in the desert.
Yeah, and I really love what Noah comes up with when he's like, why don't we call Zeon? Why don't we get him on the phone, dial up Char, and say, hey, we want to drop off these civilians? Because this is a question that has come up with me where I'm like,
right.
Why are they so determined to kill all the people on White Base when so many of them are civilians?
Yeah.
And then actually, Char's a little shaky on it because he has a feeling there's a trap. And to spoil, Char, much smarter this episode than he usually is. But also, I did like that he and Garma were like, okay, that makes sense. Because I do like... Because I love both of those characters.
Yeah. Like, lately, they haven't been really catty to each other at all. They've kind of just been playing on the same team.
Well, I like when I love when shows in a military atmosphere try to actively avoid the civilian casualties.
Yeah.
Even if they're the villains. They're like, no, I'm trying to kill you and you specifically.
Yeah, and that's a great point that I really liked about this episode is that they show a lot of Zeon's forces, and they show... And they've done this in other episodes, too, very briefly, but this one had way more of a focus on it, is that not everybody is evil.
Well, no, and it's a very realistic...
They're just fighting for a cause.
Well, what I loved is how realistic it was in its depiction of war, where really war is largely between the leaders in power, not the people on the field of war.
Yes.
And it's the people in power who throw soldiers at the situation. And that reminds me, which I could be doing this wrong, but I remember reading a story or a book about, I want to say it was World War I, where at Christmas time, the American soldiers would have Christmas with the German soldiers because, it was a ceasefire during Christmas time. But then they would go back to being enemies and fighting again after, the Christmas, truce was over. Okay, I'm probably saying that wrong. No, but I know I know this is a thing, and it's been over a decade since I read this, and I cannot remember it exactly, but I want to say it was World War I, and I want to say it was a very nice showcase about how it's really not the soldiers who declare war on one another. They are just the tools used by the
people in power.
By the people in power, which is very sad because you often forget. We have amazing, wonderful soldiers who fight for this country every day. And I think sometimes it gets lost in the mess of the people who send them there.
Yeah, yeah.
And you forget the individuals who are actually there. Yeah. Now you may speak, Keenan, as I've cut you off several times.
I believe you're correct about the World War I thing. History majors, please don't add us.
No, please do. No, please do add us, because I would like confirmation. Oh, Keenan. Listen, my best friend is a history major. They are lovely, extremely intelligent people, so.
I know, but the internet is a place where people yell a lot.
Yeah, well, I know. Listen, I'm a Rough Rider. I'll take care of it.
Yeah, so back to the issue at hand in the episode is, as Jeff said, Whitebase calls up Zeon and requests a ceasefire.
I thought that was hysterical. I'm like, did you always have the ability to just ring him up and be like, hey? Could you maybe point your guns to the left for a hot second?
I think since this the show is made in the 70s, so future technologies that we have now, like Bluetooth and Wi-Fi and stuff like that, didn't exist. So radio was kind of how they depended on most things. And if I remember correctly, in military, everything is set to channels. So you have your secure channels and you have your open channels. Open channels that means anybody can get on it, including the enemy. Mm-hmm. So I think that's why they're able to talk with them. Yeah. And so, although it would be really funny if they just had Garma's number.
Well, that was the only thing that disappointed me when they said, let's contact them. Then they heard it oh, they've contacted us requesting this, and I really wanted it to be a video chat with Noah being
that's true, because
you up? We want to
Garma, you up?
You up? We want to drop off some civilians, and then we could go back to bang bang.
That would have been really funny, because in Garma's base, where they've been planning all this stuff, they have a giant map on a computer, so that would have been really funny to see Noah's face on that doing exactly what you said.
Even better, I want them to have Kai call them, and I want him to be the negotiator.
Oh, hey, Garma.
Hey, we want to drop off some civvies. It would be like having a YouTuber call Garma.
Kai is absolutely a YouTuber.
He is the proto-YouTuber. Just a 17-year-old who's kind of attractive, who got his hands on a camera and now is rich.
Absolutely. There is no argument there. But they do it. Garma and Char and Zeon, they actually agreed to it.
Which I appreciated.
They have their suspicions about it, like Jeff said.
Well, sadly, they do not. My boy Garma's a little off this week. He just thinks, he's yes, they think, and while they do that, I will plan. I will make all the plans, and all the plans for the murders that I'm going to commit. And Char's
oh, you poor child.
Something seems off, but you know what? This is a chance to make you look bad, so I'm going to hang over here.
Yeah, so
Char is very good with the machinations this week.
Yeah, the only reason they actually agree to the ceasefire in the first place, even though they don't know exactly what Whitebase is up to, is this gives them time for them to assemble the biggest of big armies that they have right now.
Yeah.
So,
That works out super well.
and that's why Garma was so happy about it. He's like, yes, I can send everything. And put
Yeah,
it
he
in.
like punches his fist into his other hand. He's like, it's very cute. He's like, yes, I'm gonna fight them. I'm gonna fight them so hard while they're releasing the baby and the elderly.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
Char's in the back, like, oh, you're still the
Char
same.
swooshing his cape.
You're still the same spoiled rich kid I knew. You're so
Yeah.
soft.
Actually, maybe Garma's the original YouTuber.
Twirling his hair in front of the camera.
I love it. Every time he twirls his hair, an angel gets its wings. Like, I love his little, yes, my locks are so luscious.
Yeah. So now that they got the ceasefire going, they start loading up this big carrier plane that they got on White Base. But they have a little plan of their own that they got going on.
Did they tell us what the plan was beforehand, or did we watch it unfold as it happened? Because I did not know the plan, and then as it happened, I was like, oh, see what you did there.
We were kind of just watching it, but it wasn't as convoluted as the last episode, so it was real easy to figure out.
Well, yeah,
It's
it was
like,
really easy to follow,
okay.
and then I was like, oh, did they tell us this ahead of time?
Not really.
Okay, good.
Kai puts like he puts like a bomb on a part of the carrier to blow it up.
I enjoyed this.
Which is hilarious because he sets it, he goes away from it, and there's our favorite kids, Kikalets and Cats, just watching him and asking him a whole bunch of questions. Why are you doing this? Kika doesn't even ask a question. She just makes noise.
Yes, and then he just turns on them. He's like, well, but it's not like when Piccolo and Amuro yelled at them where it was like, how dare you? It was just funny because he is also basically a child mentally, so he just turns to him, he's like, will you please, I am trying to do a big boy thing over here and you are getting in my way. He's like, shut up. And they just look at him because they don't take him seriously either. They're like,
of course not. How can you take somebody like Kai seriously, honestly?
I just love the animation of them because it's very that old school, like all their hair stood on end while he was screaming, and his face got so tight, and he's like, get away!
His head got bigger for a little bit. It was actually really fun.
It was very fun. Kai is in the running for my favorite character when they don't do him dirty like last week, because that was just awful.
Yeah, maybe all it took was just to get punched in the face by Bright.
Yeah, well, if we have to keep doing it, we'll get it. You know what? Maybe that's just what he'll need from now on.
First it was Sayla, then it's Bright. Who's next?
There's a whole ship full of people. I'm waiting for Fraubo's turn.
I just want to see everybody just dogpile on him.
Yes.
It'd be great. So they do that. They get the whole plane loaded up. And a couple of our favorite heroes go with the civilians on this. We got Kai, we got Amuro, we got Frau. And for some reason, Ryu lost his skin pigment while he was on there. He's piloting.
He was just so goofy and happy to be leaving the ship. I was just happy for him because he was just everything. He was like, oh yeah, whoa. I was like, Ryu's just having a great day.
Like, even in my notes when I saw that, I was just like, Ryu lost his tan. I thought it was like another character and they just happened to use the same actor like they did with Piccolo in the last episode with an old man.
Nope, that inkwell ran out on the table that day and they were like, you know what, it's the 70s, no one will notice.
No, never. These are for kids. They won't care.
Nope, but we know now.
They just didn't expect two adult
millennials
two millennial adult nerds to be watching this and doing podcasts
about
it.
They didn't know. They know now as they're off counting their millions.
Right. Actually, you reminded me.
Excuse me, billions.
You reminded me of something, actually. I read in an article on comicbook.com about their toy sales right now, and it's hit like record sales right now. So they're doing just fine.
Oh, yeah. Must be nice, especially when those toys, not cheap.
No.
Toys in general are not cheap, but Gundam toys, yo.
Yeah, like more so than like how much the Power Rangers stuff was costing.
Don't get me wrong. I would love me a Dragon Gundam or a Heavy Arms, but
not at those prices.
Not in my budget.
Yeah, so they all get loaded up. They take off. And Amuro is asking Colley's mom, she's like, okay, are you really sure about this? This is because there's no turning back after, we leave this ship. They obviously don't know the plan that the feds got cooked up, but her answer is that the reason why she wants to go to the St. Andrews place is because her husband is from there. Now, it's safe to assume that, he probably got killed at some point or his MIA.
Or he could still be up in the colonies. Like, we don't know, maybe
that's
he's
what I mean by MIA.
Yeah.
He's missing in action.
It's not explained to us where he is.
No, but she cares about that very much, and she wants to raise her son there because
I thought that was very sweet.
That was important to her, and I agree. I feel that was very sweet. She even asks, she looks at Amuro and is just like, I'm sure you don't really understand because you're a child,
She's not wrong.
It's more of just like Amuro was not from Earth. He doesn't know what that feels like. He was just born on, a giant metallic cylinder.
And also, he is a child.
And he also is a 15-year-old baby. Now, the spy plane that we've seen in other episodes is still following them, but it goes after the carrier. It does a flyover, and one of my favorite scenes happens where they go by the windows. Frau is looking out at the pilots, and she's like, hey!
This was one of my favorite... This whole exchange, because it does go on from there, is just maybe one of my favorite scenes in the show thus far. This episode does a lot for me.
It was so quick, but it was so cute. She waves at them. Amuro gets jealous.
She waves at the Xeon pilots, which I just think was adorable because it just humanized the whole show because she's just like, you know what, we're not fighting them right now. Why can't I just say hello in their weird ass ship?
Yeah.
Their very weirdly designed ship, though still not as weirdly designed as the Federation ship, which was a plane.
Right.
With like an enormous belly. With like a belly.
Yeah.
Or was it a donk? Was it a booty or a belly? I can't remember where the shaft was.
It's thick all around, let's just say that.
It is. It's got them good curves. But it was just I love Fraubo. Because the thing is, Fraubo... The thing that I love about this show is it has really good, strong female characters, including Fraubo, who, while she's not a fighter, she just shines in her. I was hard on her in episode 1, even though I fell in love with her before the end of the episode.
Right.
But just... she brings something unique to the team that really only she can, and you see it in this, in how she's just like... hey, but those are just two other people, so I'm going to wait and say hi. And then...
when Amuro gets mad, she immediately turns it around on him and just like, oh, are you getting jealous? And he blushes. So...
it's very cute. And then the baby waves.
Yeah.
And then the two Xeon pilots get super excited that the baby's waving, so they wave back. It's the cutest thing. I loved it. I love these moments.
It was one of the most human moments in... probably the whole show at this point.
It was. And with this show full of badass shit, some of which we're going to see later on the episode, this was my favorite moment because it's when it goes from being just like your average, very good, but your average, Toonami anime, and it's like, oh, this is like real good storytelling. And that little moment really elevated the whole episode for me.
Yeah. And speaking of elevation, Ryu turns back to tell the others, like, okay, it's time to execute the plan. To which the civilians
Ryu
have
is nothing if not subtlety.
They have no idea what's going on. Kai, Amuro, and Frau, they get up and they go to the back room. Kai's just like, well, don't you worry about us.
Good day. I didn't know what was going on either. And when I saw what the plan was, I was like, this is redunculous.
But you know what? It's actually smart.
Oh, it works. It totally works. But as I started to figure it out, I was like, oh, I wonder what's... And then when I actually saw how they were causing what you were about to describe to happen, I was like, y'all, this is so silly and I love it. Do tell. You know what? I've held them in suspense long enough, Keenan. Do tell.
So the whole reason why Kai blew up that hole in the hull of that ship.
Oh my god, that's what he was doing? I'm so sorry, y'all. Hold on.
This is the reason why.
I thought he was just practicing with the bomb. I didn't know he actually blew the hole in the ship.
You didn't think it was for a reason?
No. Would it shock you if Kai just was like, you know what's going to help me relieve a little stress? I'm going to hang with some 7-year-olds and just blow up something. Just a little explosion. Oh my god, this makes so much more sense now. He blew the hole in the side of the ship.
And the reason is...
This is why Keenan is the Gundam guide, because he pays such better attention than I do. As I have said, I apologize to those who look to me to be your perfect recapper for the episode. I'm really just here for them chuckles and to enjoy the episode myself.
No, but I'll tell
Recapping,
you,
not my best.
I'll tell you what's impressive about you, though, is that...
Oh, so much.
Okay, well, besides that, when we take breaks from recording, or sometimes just, we follow on schedule, we have conversations on the show and off the show, and you mention things that I assume you would forget, and you remember them perfectly. So your retention is better than you think it is.
Well, for some reason, I probably forgot them as we were discussing that episode, and then I never forgot them, and then I remembered them afterwards.
Your brain just needs to marinate a little bit.
That's true. But, well, thank you, Keenan. That was very sweet.
You're welcome. Now let me tell you what actually happens.
Oh. Listen. It's been a salty week. I have high liver enzymes. Leave me alone.
So Kai blew up the hole in the ship because they release smoke out of it to trick the pilots of Zeon to think that the ship is damaged and they need to make an emergency landing.
How did they do this, Keenan?
They just puff out purple smoke.
Where did they get the smoke from, Keenan?
Who knows? Maybe they're all just smoking a bunch of joints.
Oh, wait. Did you not see? Because I did.
Oh, maybe you missed it, or I missed it and you caught
it. No, they just had these sticks that were puffing smoke out of them.
Oh, it's just a bunch of smoke sticks? Okay.
Yes, and then when Ryu was faking the plane crash, they all went flying back and they were just like waving their... It was just so... I was like, what the hell are they doing? It was just so ridiculous. No, they just had little sticks that blew smoke out of them. And I was like, and they were standing at the edge just holding them. And I was like, this is your plan?
And you know what? It works.
No, it does work. This is what I was talking about when I said it was so bananas. It was just Frau Amuro and Kai kneeling next to a hole, letting smoke pour out of a wound that wasn't even inflicted by the ship following them. But I guess they figured it just decided to start acting up now, kind of like my bad back. Well, it was just like, now's the moment.
Yeah, Ryu calls to the pilots on an open channel. It's just like, we got damaged by one of your planes. We're going down. We need to make an emergency landing. They buy it hook, line, and sinker.
And then Ryu turns around, still sitting in the ship, where, thank God he must have turned the comms off, because then he goes, as soon as he hangs up with them, he's like, we need to make this look real. And I'm like, shut up.
You're ruining it.
What if you forgot to press the off button?
Yeah, exactly.
I love this stupid show.
Especially because the two pilots of the spy plane, one of them we get his code name.
My boys.
I don't know what the other code name is for the younger guy, but the older guy, they call him Big John.
The younger guy is like horny McCornerson.
This guy is the biggest dope.
He is thirsty for Frau.
We will see that in a minute. But they're like on a hotline to Garma telling them, they're just like, hey, this is going on. Keep an eye on it.
And Garma, because this is not his week, he's like, I'm sure it's fine. And then Char's like, clearly something's up, but this may work in my favor because this guy's an idiot.
And then he dismisses it later, just like, maybe I'm just being paranoid.
As we get some real tight close-ups on his helmet.
Yeah.
Which grows huge when
his Darth Vader helmet.
Yes, it's well, every other angle you can see like his blonde hair peeking out, but whenever they do like a front, they do some specific cuts to just his face, and it's a real tight close-up on his face, and it's just like everything is super angular and pointy, and it's just like that's how you know Char is serious.
Right. So we cut back, the plane makes its emergency landing, they crash into the ground and kind of like stop right at the edge of the lake.
Yes. Ooh, and while he's like, it's probably nothing, but let me keep an eye on this, he does have a brief memory of Sayla pointing a gun at him.
Yeah, he gets a weird vision of that again,
Yeah.
which I'm not sure why he thought of it,
Yeah,
but
she should have shot him.
yeah, absolutely. No question.
I mean, I
about
love
it.
Char, but like, I love her more.
Yeah, no, and Sayla had every right to, considering that all she knows is like, he's the enemy, I should probably shoot him.
Yeah, she punched Kai in the face not 10 minutes before. She should have shot him.
Yeah, but Char was able to trick her back in episode 1 and kick the gun away from her. So
Episode 2, Keenan, please.
he
Let's get it
lives
together.
another day.
Only Gene was running around in episode 1. Rest in
Right.
peace, Gene. I hated him.
See, that's what I'm talking about. You still remember Gene?
I will never forget Gene. After we have gone through after we've gone through like whatever 50 years this franchise lasts,
Never gonna forget Gene.
when we're old, I'm gonna be like, hey, remember Gene? And that's gonna be the last line of the podcast. Actually, I'm writing that down right now. Keenan, go on to the next thing. I had to write this. This is such a good idea.
Sure. So the other civilians, they get on a boat that's been kind of hanging out at the edge of the lake, and they ask Colley's mom, just like, hey, you're going to join us? And she says, no, we're going to go walk to St. Anges.
Yeah,
Which in hindsight is not a good idea.
yeah, going solo, not great plan. And as we will see, she doesn't really know the terrain or where she's going. Not that they necessarily know where they're going. They just blew up like a whitewater raft and were like, here we go.
Yeah, especially because how they plan on getting there is through some pretty rough terrain.
Yeah. No, but they were going to just, weren't they on like a raft on the lake?
The civilians were Coley and his mom.
Yeah,
were not.
they were just gonna. But that's the thing. She's like, the town's over this way. I'm like, but then when we see them traveling, it doesn't seem like she knows where she's going.
But that could be because the terrain changed, like I mentioned.
Which, well, actually, I believe she also mentioned it as they were landing. She was like,
Yeah, that lake wasn't there before.
yeah. She's like, I don't remember that lake, and I was like, oh, it's a crater filled with water.
Yes. Even though there's still houses nearby that are safe, and that's where the civilians are going.
Yeah.
Yeah, so they part ways. Just before the Xeon spy plane guys get more suspicious about what's going on, Frau Kai and another pilot who we don't get a name, it's some blonde kid, they all fly out and they start tailing them instead.
After Frau winks at
our dopey little boy.
He was such a dork. He was like, did you see? She winked at me.
It's like, oh my god, this teenage love child.
Yes, and the older, and what was it? Big Joe?
Big John.
Daddy? Big John.
Big Daddy.
Big Daddy John, he was like, you are a child. It was really good. I want the Big John horny sidekick spinoff. That's what I want.
Yeah, Big John is a really great character in this episode, because after a certain point, he actually gets concerned because he saw, Coley and his mom walk on their own. He's just like, I'm gonna go check on them to make sure they're all right. And he even kind of talks down about Garma.
I loved it.
Garma's a child.
Well, because you know what I
him.
loved about that is because it's very relatable. Because you and I am 30. Mm-hmm. You are in your late 20s.
Yes.
People who are in their 40s and 50s look at us people at work say to me all the time, they're like, oh, you're so young. And I'm like, I don't feel it. But then I do the same thing where I look at, some of the people we work with who are clearly some who are just out of high school or or just out of college. And I'm like, oh, you are children. You do not understand how lucky, you do not understand how the world is working, my friend. Mm-hmm. And I love that moment where he was like, you are a child? And our boss, while he's a good general, like, he's young, so he doesn't get certain things.
Yeah, I'm a family man.
Yeah. Then he threw that in, and it dampened the moment that I like when he was just talking about like how you grow and get wiser with age, and then was just like,
yeah.
No, he doesn't know because he doesn't have a wife and children. I was like, oh, the 70s. Here we go.
So they head out, just in the nick of time for Ryu to catch them coming back.
I was like, door opening. Uh-oh, door closing. Door opening. It was like a broken toaster.
So
it just kept Ryu's like, here we go, I'm opening it. No, closing the door. And Amuro's like, what are you doing? He's like, shh, they're coming back. Okay, open the door. And it's like, what? Some of the padding in this episode was so entertaining that all of it passed for me. I was like, you're all good with this padding.
Yeah, the big carrier that they're on was, wouldn't you know it, a clever ruse to hide the Gundam inside of it. So the hatch opens up just slightly.
It was so weird because the fact that they went back to show it just like do. Okay, we're good. Swing!
Yeah.
Like, it
flies.
entertaining.
The Xeon plane flies over them. Amuro's just like, okay, I need to get out now.
Yes, and he's like, okay. And it just slowly, like... And my favorite part is, I figured the Gundam was going to be, like, standing in there. No, it's lying, and it's lying like it's on a plane. It's got its seat in the full upright position, and it just goes down backwards, sitting, like... Wee! Like, this whole thing was just so weird and cute, and I loved it.
Yep. And we cut to break. After we cut back from break...
Oh my god, I can't believe we're only at the act break.
There's a good reason why the pilots are heading back, because we see Coley and his mom walk on this dangerous cliff edge. They almost fall to their death.
Yes! I'm like, girl, you in the Great Canyon. Why are you hanging on cliff sides?
The bag of supplies that they were carrying falls over, so now they're just alone with nothing.
Well, I get that she's trying to find this town, but you know where the town isn't? In the big hole.
Right.
So maybe we stay away from it.
Well, they slipped. It wasn't there necessarily.
Yeah, they
their
slipped,
fault.
and we sit there watching them and watch them in the sunlight, and then a cloud goes overhead, and then they're in the cloud shade. No, like, movement of the camera.
Nope.
It's just like it's a partly cloudy day.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and they're able to get themselves back up. They start continuing on their way. The spy plane is getting closer. They see it. They start running because naturally they should. It's Xeon. They should be scared.
And then I love how she just drops to the ground. She's like,
like she gives up. Like,
yeah, she's like, we're going down, and she just like drops to the ground with her child in her arms.
Yeah.
And then
she says like a little prayer for herself, and Amuro is not too far behind them. He starts to line up a shot.
Yeah, I had it, and Amuro fucks it up again. Parentheses, almost. Because for a split second, like, there was a good reason why he was getting ready to shoot that plane down, because that plane launches what looks like a big bomb. Yes! Which, okay, here's the thing that gets me. The plane's going back that way. He doesn't know for what reason.
Right.
And then when they drop what looks like a bomb, then he doesn't, like, that was the moment I thought he might actually shoot them, because that did not look like the box of food that it is.
No, it's actually just a big supply thing. But we don't know that until it sprouts a little parachute and then lands gently on the ground and then opens up to reveal a whole bunch of food and other stuff.
Yeah, and then Big Frank like gives her the salute.
Big Frank.
I'm sorry, was that not his name?
We'll go with that for now. They fly over. He gives a little salute, like Jeff said. Thank God. And then Amuro ducks with the Gundam out of the way.
Not quite enough out of way.
Hopefully they don't see me as he's pointing the gun at them.
Yes! And then, like, in what I thought was a very fun nod to just anime in general, it's like the gleam in the Gundam's eye that reflects that they end up seeing.
Yeah, that was weird.
It does that little, you know, like when like the handsome guy comes in and he gets a little gleam either in his eye or like on his teeth. It's like, shing, I'm handsome.
Yeah.
Well, the Gundam does it. It's like, bling.
Like,
and then all of a sudden, that's actually not just the thing we see. It's a thing the other characters see too.
Yeah, and the way that they frame it is that it's from the perspective of Big Joe and his friend flying by. They see a little sparkle on the mountain behind them. It's just like, how did that thing do that?
And that's when Big Paul is like, we gotta check on this.
Mm-hmm. And so Big Phil, they fly back, and unfortunately, we thought they met their doom because
I was so upset. I was like, you shot down Big Adam. I'm so distraught.
But thankfully, they crash into the lake.
They do. And then I was like, well, okay, they have the longest crash sequence because they wibble, they wobble, they don't fall down, and they go in a circle around behind a mountain, come back around the other side of the mountain, take another harsh turn, and then go into the lake. And I was like, this is... and P.S., the whole time this is happening, the cockpit on fire. Like, literally, you see them surrounded by flames.
Yeah, they're trying
while they take the long way around to their crash.
Yeah, they had to build tension, of course.
Yeah, by bursting flames.
So it was a good thing that Amuro's aim was not steady there, because otherwise,
because
those guys would
always
have been
so
done.
steady. If there's one thing Amuro is known for, it's his fabulous aim.
Well, because right now Amuro, hasn't pulled out the bazooka in what feels like ages, and rightfully so.
I hope he left them all in space. He did have a habit of just throwing them.
Yeah, he's been using the beam rifle for 3 consecutive episodes, and it's deadly accurate normally.
Well, I mean, he does hit them. He just didn't hit them in the cockpit.
Yeah.
Though the cockpit did burst into flames.
Yeah, which was very unfortunate.
Though they were fine.
Yeah, it turns out they're all right.
They're fine. They landed in water, put the fire out. Everything's good.
Exactly. There's no such thing as deadly impact or anything like that.
Not in anime.
Nope. Big Sal is fine.
Oh, Big Joey. I love him.
Meanwhile, at White Base, Frau and the others, they've come back. Reed is yelling at them because that's what he always does.
I don't even remember. He is the Charlie Brown teacher. Wah, 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 wah. He means nothing to me.
He's just asking them what's going on, and their response is, like anybody's, is, we don't know.
He spoke sideways to me, Ryan. I'm already done with him.
Yeah. But the reason why we're here is Bright is having a conversation with Kai because now there's another plan in place, and
yes,
I think it involves a brand new toy.
It does involve a brand new toy, a toy which has been in the opening since day one, and for the first time ever, I said, "Hey, you think we're ever gonna see that?"
8 episodes later,
and Keenan's like, I don't know if we're ever going to see it. And I was like, well, we're going to see it sometime. But I did not catch on that Keenan was basically like, yeah, this week.
Yeah. And it's been in the episode intros. It's been in background shots a couple of times. It's just like, wow, they pulled out the gun tank fast when they pulled out this thing.
Yeah, but the gun tank was there, but we never saw it get used.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. And this wonderful piece of machinery is a giant red bipedal mobile suit called the Gun Cannon, which they name drop. And
at your local Toys R Us.
For sale now, $19.99.
As if.
If it is, yeah, exactly, as if
yeah,
it costs that.
Yeah, $19.
And the reason it's called the Gun Cannon is because, much like the gun tank, it has 2 shoulder-mounted cannons that are pretty much just the best at anti-aircraft.
I do love how it's a little person who just gets on his knees and just starts firing.
I think that's more of Kai just being like, I don't really know how to pilot mobile suits that well.
Well, yeah, we learned that this episode when he goes out there and he's like, yeah, and then 2 seconds later he literally says, they're firing at me, and I was
that was
like,
so funny.
No shit. But you know what I love about this? Okay. I do want to talk about this. The beginning of this, when he goes out there, is so funny, and then it gets genuinely scary.
Yeah, because Zeon pulls off its full-scale attack. They're throwing, the biggest of big forces that Garma could pull together. He called all of his friends, and they're just wailing on White Base like they have before, but with bigger numbers. Kai gets out with the gun cannon while giving a little back chat to Sayla before he jumps out.
Yeah, it was very, it starts off very jokey and very Kai-esque.
Can you lower the ship so I don't fall and break my neck?
Yeah, but the tone of the scene shifts so dramatically. Like, Keenan, have you ever watched You a Doctor Who?
No.
Okay. But those of you who've had.
But I know certain things about Doctor Who.
There's this episode, it's called Midnight. This is nothing like that, but let's say it was.
Why'd you even bring it up?
Just the tone shift.
Okay.
It's this episode that starts off where it's just like nice, and then the villain shows up, and the villain, well, you don't actually see them, but the way they talk to the Doctor, it's very kind of like seemingly silly at first, and then it gets deeply upsetting, and it's like a elongated version of the scene where Kai is all fun and jokey, and then just the way they use the colors and the way they animate his face when he realizes what being out of White Base in the actual fight actually is. The horror and terror on his face. It's not like when they usually do that with Amuro, where he's like, and it's like kind of campy.
They do close up of him and he's crying.
He's so scared, and it's genuinely like off-putting. And not off-putting in like a bad way, but it's unsettling. That's the scenes of Kai coming to grips with the situation he is in is actually unsettling in the way they do it, and the way they use colors, and the way they animate his face, where he's just like horrified because he's like, oh my god, they're trying to kill me, I could die, because here's the thing, you want to know what doesn't hold up when someone's shooting at you? Sarcasm.
Right.
That will not protect you, and he gets it. It was an extremely well done, kind of upsetting scene.
Welcome to the real world, kid.
It was a very, very, I was like, that was exquisite. I loved it.
Yeah. And
I was very concerned for no, you wouldn't. You've already seen the show. I genuinely thought he might get killed off because I was like, this is a new show. I didn't see him running around in Gundam narrative. I was like, are they going to kill him? I thought there was a chance he might get killed this episode. Genuinely.
Yeah. And for good reason, because unlike in other episodes where Kai has actually gone out to battle, the last time he was doing something like this, he was with Hayato in the gun tank because he knows how to drive it. So
yeah, and they were far away from the battle.
Exactly. And this time, he's in the gun cannon. It's a single piloted mobile suit. So he's all by himself.
Well, and they were all aiming at him.
Exactly.
Like, you even cut to the Zeon soldiers who were like, oh my god, it's another mobile suit. Everyone, shoot that thing.
Yeah, and thankfully, the gun cannon is just as impervious to bullets as the Gundam is. But
Kai doesn't know that.
Kai doesn't know that because he gets blown back a couple of times. And like what Jeff was mentioning about how they use the framing in some of these shots is there's a great one of a close-up of his face, and in his helmet is the reflection of the plane that's coming directly to him.
It was so scary. It was it was such an effortless tone shift though that I was just very impressed by it.
Yeah. So he panics. He starts just going nuts with the gun cannon, shooting everything down that he possibly can. By the way, if in case anybody was wondering, Hayato's off to the side and he's fine.
Yeah, was he piloting the gun tank? Because the gun tank got off the ship and then I don't think we ever saw it again.
We see it a couple of times.
No, I'm sure we did.
If it's just a quick...
I never saw it again.
It's just a split-second shot of the gun tank just shooting down a couple of planes because it's great. Hayato's wonderful. The person who's driving the tank obviously is not Kai because he's in the gun cannon. It's that blonde kid that flew back with Kai and Frau.
Okay, don't tell me who he is, but do we ever get a name for him, or is he just stock fighter number 1 this week?
At the moment, he is just Fed Soldier number 4.
Oh, but you said at the moment. Okay, I'm gonna put that in my notes. I'm gonna put that. I'm gonna tie a string to it.
By all means, do so. Because I genuinely do not remember if he has a name or not.
Also, guess who's piloting saves the day for White Base? What?
It's
Yeah,
Mirai.
that's right. Suck it, Piccolo. Yeah.
Yeah,
Don't fuck
'cause
with my queen.
now, like, this is one of the best battle scenes that they've done since
it's excellent.
a while.
It is so good. It's right up there with episode 6.
Like, even I think it's actually better than that. Because it's not just Amuro going crazy, it's everybody just decimating this army, from the Gundam to the gun tank to the gun cannon to White Base. And
that's true. Everyone gets in on it, and it's very good. Amuro kicks ass in this fight, and you saw my reaction to that one thing he did.
Yeah. And by the way,
yes,
as we brought up earlier, Garma, he thinks he's in control right now.
Yeah, he does.
Char takes the opportunity to remind him, just like, hey, our forces by the lake, they're kind of open right now. We should move them. Garma says no.
He's like, we're fine.
Why would anybody attack us from there? And as it turns out...
Why would anyone attack us from where we left that Federation ship unguarded?
Which Char pointed out. And Garma's just like, nah, it's fine. Here comes Amuro.
Yeah, and then isn't someone like, it's the enemy mobile suit? And then Char's face drops.
Yeah.
He's like, not Char, Garma's face drops. He's like, oop.
Meanwhile, Char's like, I knew it.
Well, no, the thing I love is Char's like, you know what? This still works for me.
Right. He's fine.
No matter how this turned out, this works in my favor.
Right. But not for all the other Zeon soldiers.
No. It is, we do have a brief cutaway.
And this was so cute.
To my
Big Sam.
Big Sal,
and his buddy,
and his buddy, and my baby, and her baby.
Yes.
They're just chilling, having snacks like we do,
right?
Watching the fight, and it's really adorable because they're like,
they can't really see it. They see like explosions off in the distance.
Yeah, it's like fireworks.
Yeah, exactly.
It's a beautiful display.
And Coley's mom, being friendly because they gave him supplies, is bandaging up the pilots.
Yes, it's so good.
While Coley is having a little nap.
He is. I just love this whole scene. And, he, says, he's like, I don't know which way it's going to turn out. And she goes, well, either way, there's going to be mothers without sons and father. It was just very good. Yeah. That whole scene.
Wives without husbands. And yeah, that was kind of depressing.
I just loved everything to do with these side characters. I absolutely adored in this episode.
And for once, days changed to night. Finally.
Yeah. Which, yeah.
But they use that in a really effective way in when we cut back to them, because the way that they frame these next couple of shots is, now that it's dark, the light from the gunfire is illuminating a whole bunch of stuff. So they do a quick set of stills where you see one flash, it's Zaku. You see another flash, it's the Gundam. You see another flash, it's White Base. It was just a really cool setup for continuing the battle. And Amuro, for once, uses the shield to its greatest strength.
It is so rad.
Where instead of using it like a shield, he Captain America's it.
It's so good. It's such a cool Amuro. Listen, I mean this with love. Amuro never does cool shit, but this week he not only is kicking all the ass, he uses that. Listen, the second he started using the beam sword, that's when shit got real. And what was I saying the whole time we were in space?
Just
get
use the beam
out
sword.
The beam sword. And today he was javelining his shield into tanks and blowing them up. It was so good. And the thing is, this is animation from the 70s, and that fight scene was so dynamically animated. It was gorgeous, and it was so cool, and I loved it.
Yeah, and one of our personal favorite moments in this battle happens immediately next.
I know exactly what you're talking
Amuro
about.
gets surrounded by a couple of Zakus. Even though he's doing just fine handling them, he doesn't think he can. There's one that's on a cliff behind him, getting ready to shoot him. Kai in the gun cannon, Pink Panther sneaks his way up behind him and pushes him off.
Yes, just pushes him off a cliff, which I thought was hysterical because Kai, he got his shit together and he started to feel comfortable in his war surroundings.
Because now he knows what it's really like to be.
But I love how he still fights like Kai.
Yeah.
Like, his fighting style is very in line with his personality, where he,
absolutely.
sneaky sneaks, like he's trying to catch a Poochyena.
That's a Pokemon.
And then just goes, whoa, and pushes him off a cliff. And then goes, see, I'm useful. And then I think that's the last thing he does this episode.
Yeah, that's pretty much his shining moment, aside from
was very good.
being in the gun cannon.
And then Amuro just wipes out the rest of Sion's forces.
Yeah, it's just more, shots of Gundam, gun cannon, gun tank, white base, just blowing up everything. We cut back to Garma's horrified face as he listens to all of his soldiers panic as everybody's dying.
Yeah, they're like, all the Zakus are blown up and my boyfriend needs a Xanax. It is rough times for Garma. This is, I think, the first time we've ever seen him look concerned. And they made sure to get a big close-up on him. Like, I could see very open pores. Yeah. He's, very concerned.
He's sweating buckets because in every other episode where he's had a defeat, it was always just like, it's okay. I got a plan for the next thing. This time, he is absolutely at a loss.
Yeah, because he thought he had this in the bag. And my favorite part is he just is like, what will my sister say? And I was like, oh, I forgot. He had a sister. Wait, let me get back to the whiteboard.
Yeah, let's pull up the red tape. Where are you at now, Jeff?
I forgot he has a sister. I was like, okay, let me put that in my notes. Meanwhile, I think we have crossed the boundary where Char is trying to plant the seeds to control Garma, and now
is it really that obvious?
Well, now I feel like he is in full-on control of Garma. Like, he is playing Garma like a fiddle at this point.
Yeah, he's got him in the palm of his hand.
It feels like, and I might be giving the show more credit than it deserves, but it feels like last episode, notwithstanding, because no one did anything useful then.
Nope.
It felt like in the first episode, Char was like, oh, and this is all my pure theory. I have no proof to any of this. It felt very much as Char was like, okay, I've done everything I can.
Yeah.
Now that we're on Earth, I need this person's help, but he's kind of a schmuck.
Kinda.
But I can work his schmuckiness to my advantage. So let me use him because if he kills them, great. Mm-hmm. Then I don't have to worry about these guys anymore. But if he doesn't, I basically can, mess with him, and it's almost like I have an extra army under my command.
Right.
And then last episode was really about him, like, giving, or episode 6. If I say last episode, I mean episode 6, not that trash bag from last week. Just giving Garma a taste of, okay, here's what I've been dealing with, but still letting Garma play, like, the cocky guy who knows everything.
Yeah.
And then really letting Garma step into this. Because here's the thing. Char did his whole hemming and hawing, like, something could be up with that. But he never really pushed Garma to check on what was going on with it. And, like, really be like, we should be concerned about this. He kind of let Garma put himself in a situation that was a complete and utter defeat for him, which threw him for a
Let me just watch Garma set himself up for failure.
Exactly. And that now it feels like Garma, because this battle like shook Garma's complete confidence in himself, now Char has the ability to basically control this fool.
And we kind of see what he has in mind next, because he tells him after Garma is like, how am I going to be able to explain this to my sister?
Yes!
And he's, without missing a beat, he's just like, well, we have a very important role to play. We need to be out there. We need to boost morale.
Yep. It's very like, okay, now I'm going to take control of the planning because I threw you into a situation and now I can. It was very...
He wants Garma to still think he's in charge.
Exactly. It's like getting someone to think an idea is theirs that was already yours.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It's very good. Like the game Char is playing is very interesting and really is redeeming his tomfoolery in episode 5 where I was like, okay, now we're starting to get stupid.
You're right. Now, as Jeff mentioned, he's got a little conspiracy board going. I kind of want to like retrace that a little bit. Just for, for us and for our listeners who, again, if you've been listening through our journey, thank you. Here's what we know about Garma and his sister.
Okay.
So
recap for me.
Garma's full name is Garma Zabi. He is the captain of the Earth Occupation Forces. So the whole force of Zeon that's trying to take over the Earth.
Which, if I remember correctly, they mentioned once and we never heard it again.
Exactly. He mentioned, in I believe the same episode he was introduced, he has an older sister named Cassilia. Now, Cassilia...
I live for that name.
It's a lovely name. Cassilia, from what information they give to us, is his boss, essentially.
Yes.
So she is on a level higher than Garma, Char, maybe I said Captain. Admiral Tinyhead. There's a lot
about him.
There's a lot of mystery surrounding her right now.
Ooh, mystery.
Yeah. So, and obviously Garma thinks that's a big deal.
He is scared as shit of her.
So we
have never seen her on screen. I don't know if we ever will see her on screen, but he is concerned.
Right. Which allows Char to kind of manipulate him, as we've been saying. So, now that we have that established, we move from that and we go back to Cole and his mom after they're done, healing the pilots.
This scene.
Yeah. This, as great as this episode was, this episode ends on a bit of a downer.
I think this is part of what makes this episode great. I think this is such a good note to end on because this episode really balanced silly, whether intentional or not.
Right.
And serious. And I really like the note they ended on because you know what else I liked? I thought it was a great cut. Okay, I have no proof of this. Follow me here. It really reminded me of episode 5 where it ended with the grandfather being like, look, we're back on Earth. Like, this is where we're meant to be. And this is a good... to me, it felt like a callback where she realizes, even though she's a different character, yes, we are back, but what did we come back to? Yeah,
because when the pilots are getting ready to leave, they thank them. They leave. They start walking away, but then what's his name?
Big Daddy.
Big Daddy. I've run out of nicknames.
Big Poppy.
Big Poppy. He turns around, and so that St. Andrew's place that Coley and his mom were looking for, he tells them, he's like, hey, this place used to be St. Andrew's.
Well, yeah, what he tells her is he's like, oh, you should really go back to that group who left 12 hours ago because we're already back to sunrise. So they are long since gone.
Right.
It's like you should really go meet up with the rest of the group that got dropped off. This place is just barren. This used to be this town called St. Andrew. And just her reaction of just heartbreak to realize that whole time she's been standing on the barren wasteland that was what she was planning to be her home. Like where
she was going to raise her son.
Exactly. Because it felt like a piece of home to her. This is where her husband grew up. She wanted her son to grow up in the same environment that created the man she loved. And she came back to find it does not exist anymore.
And while she can't handle that.
Yeah, she drops to her knees. And that's kind of where the episode ends. But
is leaving on her, weeping over the loss of her town, the loss of... a very important memory of her husband.
Yeah, what I did love is that they did not explain what happened to the town. I mean, the obvious, it was probably destroyed in the war, but there's not even rubble. It's just
barren
land. So there's nothing to even indicate a town was. It's very good. It's
real good.
It's a very sad ending, but it's very good. And this episode ruled. It was a very good episode.
It was a real good episode, strong on many accounts. We even got a new musical track that was going on during the battle that was so catchy, and I loved it. But that's pretty much where we leave off, and we get our preview of the next episode, which ironically shares the name of the opening credits theme.
There was a woman in that trailer who looked so fucking cool. And I have my suspicions. I think I know who she is, but I'm not going to say it.
Okay.
Going to find out next week. But I have a suspicion. It's in my suspicion jar. Putting the lid on the jar. Putting it on the shelf. On the suspicion shelf. We'll take it down next week.
Sounds good, because not only do we get a preview of what looks like a female commanding officer of the Federation, we also...
Oh my god, she looks so cool. Like orange or red hair, reddish orange hair.
Yeah.
Like, and that hat tilted to the side. I was like, you better work. Yes.
And the way they frame her, like they make it seem like a big deal.
She looks like she's going to murder someone right then. It's so good.
And we also get a preview that Garma is going to be out in the fray.
Yeah, that ruled. I was like, yes, Garma, get in the cockpit. Get out there and fight.
Uh-huh.
I feel like he doesn't have a long future ahead of him.
What gives you that idea?
Well, one, because the last episode on this disc is called Garma's Fate, and two, because I don't know if he's ever been out in a war before. I think he hangs out on his ship and twirls his hair. I will say, though, there is a new... I mentioned to you off air, they're coming out with the next Gundam Origin Blu-ray and DVD, and I believe Garma's on the cover.
He is on the cover.
Which lends me to believe he's more important than someone who gets killed in episode 10, but I don't know. We're going to find out.
Absolutely.
I have no proof. We're not even... Next week's episode 9. We've got plenty of time before I learn what Garma's fate is.
Exactly. Who knows? He could be put in jail after this. We don't know.
Yeah, well, the options are numerous, and I can't wait to find out.
And we're going to leave you all on that. So now, we would like to say, once again... Thank you all our listeners, including the one who left us that wonderful 5-star review.
An extra special thank you to you.
And I know a lot of other podcasts, they ask for reviews because...
We've never done that now that I think about it.
We've never done it, and I don't think I want to.
Yeah, I have never felt compelled to be like, review, and subscribe.
The reason is because how podcasts and video algorithms work is that reviews allow things to move up the charts on the internet. Like, for example, there was a 5-star rating that was on our Stitcher feed, and that's when you go to look up the Gundam Guys podcast, that's one of the first thing that pops up now is because of that 5-star review. That's why people ask for it.
Which I get. I guess it's just... I love to do this fun thing every week, and that's really what I'm in it for. And if a lot of people start listening, that's great. And but if it's just us and our one, and we stick with that one review forever, and our couple like Twitter friends who tweet at us, then I'm cool with that too. Like I just love doing this thing.
And I don't like the idea of like begging or pleading or anything like that. If you like it, you like it. That's I want to keep it genuine that way.
Yeah,
you know.
We're just two buds having a good time, and we're glad that you're joining us for this fun time.
Yes, and you can also find this podcast on iTunes, Google Play, Stitcher, SoundCloud is up in the air right now. Guess which one of us is
in charge of that too?
And I said SoundCloud already. Spotify. I meant to say Spotify. And as far as Twitter goes, pay attention, Jeff. If you want to follow the show's Twitter.
Which is run by who? Wait, you were saying me up. Okay, never mind. Okay, yes. If you want to reach the show's Twitter, which is run by me, you can tweet at Gundam Guys. Now, couple rules. When you tweet at us, you cannot tweet spoiler, or we ask that you do not. I mean, it's America. You can do whatever you want. But we ask that you do not tweet spoilers for anything in the future of Gundam, at least, especially for Universal Century. You can tweet about like Gundam Wing and G Gundam, like I know what's up with those.
Yeah.
But Universal Century, I know nothing. I have seen nothing other than these 7 episodes or 8 episodes and NT.
And SD Gundam Force.
Oh, Well, no, I'm talking about in the Universal Century.
I know,
but is that in the Universal Century? Because
No.
otherwise, it's
no,
oh,
but you didn't
damn
mention
it.
this episode, so I
That's
wanted
right.
to bring that back.
That's right. Perennial favorite, SD Gundam Force. Don't step to me. Yes, so you can reach me at and both of us, because Keenan sees pretty much everything, that's every interaction I have. We are at Gundam Guys. And if you were going to tweet any spoilers, not only don't tweet them at me, but if you want Keenan to see them, just tweet hashtag Mobile Suit Jeffrey, Jeffrey.
And you can tweet me at kscottpearson.
And use that hashtag if you want to talk like unicorn or NT is fine because I saw that, but like any recent Gundams that you want to discuss with Keenan, just attach that hashtag to it.
Yep.
So I don't see it.
And I do check it. I do honestly check it.
Excellent.
So.
Has anyone used it yet?
No, not yet.
It'll happen.
Yeah. And we also have an email.
We do. It's the Gundam Guys at outlook.com.
Please do not email spoilers in that because...
Yeah, because that also goes to me.
That also goes to Jeff.
Because in exchange for Keenan doing literally everything, especially everything mentioned in that 5-star review, I checked the social media.
Oh, I can't take too much credit.
Listen, you deserve it. You work amazingly hard on this show, and I am so grateful.
That's why I have this book in my hand.
That's right. That's why you got a present.
So thank you all so much. We will catch you all in the next episode.
Bye.